Hi everyone, I've posted a couple of videos on YouTube showing my layout that I've been working on, and I've been using SurroundTraxx and I've been very happy with it so far, so I thought I'd post a little bit more extensive video to give you a little bit better idea of how I've incorporated SurroundTraxx on my layout. So first of all, I thought I'd explain my layout a little bit. I've only got a small bedroom to have my layout in, and unfortunately I like to run long trains, which doesn't work out too well if you're limited on space. So what I've done is I've got two loops running around the walls of my bedroom. It basically loops over itself, and then I've got a engine terminal and a small yard off to the side. So I'm gonna come over here and show you my fairly crude control panel. It's going to be one of the things I'm going to improve in the future. So I'm using a Digitrax DCS51, and this is my SurroundTraxx control module, and then I've got a number of switches for controlling power to different portions of my yard and engine terminal, and then I've got a old-fashioned analog amp meter so I can keep track of the power that the system's using. The Digitrax unit that I'm using is the BXP88. It's a little bit newer unit, and the SurroundTraxx manual doesn't address using the BXP88. They talk about using the BL168, I believe it's called, but this is much easier to wire, and it works just fine. It will power 8 sub-power districts. The SurroundTraxx only has capability for 6, so I've got 2 extra, which again, for a small layout, 6 sound zones are perfectly fine. This is the Digitrax booster I'm using, and then one thing I elected to do is I'm using small external amplifiers with the SurroundTraxx unit, and the reason why I did this is I get a little bit more sound volume, and then I've got a bigger, more powerful unit here for my uphill trackage, and then my downhill trackage I've got a little bit smaller unit, but what I can do is I can use the volume control here to reduce the volume when the train is going downhill to better simulate the engine drifting. But then if I'm running in opposite direction, I can go ahead and crank up the volume on this amplifier, and I'll get some good loud noise. So right here I'm showing 2 of the speakers that I have on the SurroundTraxx system. I've got 1 speaker per sound zone, but what I did is I used 1 speaker for the uphill trackage, and then 1 for the downhill, so that way I can get more volume when the train is going uphill. And I've got the same situation at my next 2 sound zones. I've got an uphill speaker and a downhill speaker, and then when you come over to the 2 flat portions of the layout, this portion is eventually going to go into a tunnel, and this portion is obviously overhead. And so this is my speaker for the overhead portion, which is going to be at a louder volume, and then my 6th speaker is over here, and it's for the tunnel section and also for the terminal and yard layout. I've also added a couple of sound card decoders, but I'm just using them as a stationary decoder. So you can hopefully see one here, and then I've got 4 small speakers, and that gives me my wheel click and flange squeal. So let's run a train around the layout, and hopefully you'll get an idea of what it sounds like. So as you can probably tell, we're going down a downhill section right now, and the locomotive is transitioning from one sound zone to the next. Okay, we've switched out the cab forward and added a set of ABBA Black Widow F units. So here we go with the diesels. Okay, and they're going into dynamic braking.